2025, we are located in the BCISD administration building in the boardroom. We do have a quorum present tonight, and this meeting was posted according to Meetings Act. If you all would please stand. Mr. Townsend is going to say our invocation this evening, and then we'll go straight into the Pledge of Allegiance with Mr. Tennant leading our pledges.
To our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we ask your continued presence here with us tonight. We humbly ask that you surround us with your Holy Spirit as we seek to do your will in service to all of your children. Father, we ask that you wash away any notion of self-service and open our hearts to selfless decision-making with one unified voice that is pleasing to you. Father, we give you all the glory and thank you for your saving grace. Help us not to seek your powerful forgiveness without accompanying it with sincere heart and meaningful action. We ask your blessings on our students, families, staff, school, and community, and that your favor surrounds them like a shield all the days of their lives. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Sir.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Each one reflects the Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to the Texas, to say, America, one and indivisible.
Thank you. All right. Good evening, welcome. We like to start our board meetings after both of those with good news of things that the board members see going on around our school district. Does anybody have any good news to share since our last meeting?
I don't know if anybody got a chance to go to the game Saturday, but I wanted to watch the second half. The first half was a little stressful.
They do great. They pulled it out. We play Saturday at 2 in Brenham for round 2.
I got one.
Yes, sir.
Last Tuesday we was at the Veterans celebration over at Benny Roberts. And it was really a magical event. I'll see all the veterans there. The students were excited. All the parents that were there are excited. And I would like to see next year, we take this thing district wide. We have one big event with all the schools involved. And all of that, and we'll get more veterans. That was really a lovely event.
It was, and I know that all schools did something, and I've heard that each one was great in what they did at each campus. So thank you for honoring our veterans. I know that's work for campuses and principals, but the kids love it, and so it's a great way to pull community members in. So thank you for that. Anything else?
The junior high played a couple weeks ago, the Mary Poppins, but it's really good to have over 100 students. So it was a great play. They did so well.
They did. It was fantastic. I know that we had a couple students make it to state for Congress debate that will come up in January. So that's fun and exciting. To play the musical at the high school is coming up. Not this week, the week after Thanksgiving. So a lot of things going on across our school district. So if you don't know about what's going on, tune in to Facebook, wherever you can, because so many great things are happening within Bay City ISD. Anything else?
Last week I had an opportunity to go and have a Thanksgiving lunch, and our food service department did a fantastic job. And you may not know this, but there was a backlog of turkeys, but because we have some foresight, ingenuity, we did something. So our stuff was there in time, and not only were our students and staff able to take part in the wonderful meal that they could provide, but it was able to showcase what our district can do. Because the community also came, were able to have lunch with their children, very well organized and all. So
Great.
Thanks. All right, great.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. There's stuff happening all over that. Get to see all of that. Thank you for what you do. It truly is incredible. All right, anything else? I know you were about to say something more.
I was saying, we have more than one Mary Poppins star here.
Yes.
There's multiple.
We're multiple Mary Poppins stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a great play. If you did not make it, I highly encourage you to go to the musical at the high school that's coming up, because it will be just as fantastic. All right, anything else? Okay, moving along, we have audience with patrons next on our agenda. Just want to remind everybody that when speaking, you do have 3 minutes. Kelly will be our timekeeper. So the timer will go off, and then unfortunately, I'll have to kindly ask you to halt. And please remember that when you're speaking from the podium, not to use names, not to use personnel names, not to use anything of that nature. That is something that we try not to do just for personnel reasons. So please try not to do that. If anyone has any questions, please remember also that we are not able to respond to you in your comments. So our first speaker this evening is Tammy Tennant. Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good, and my speech is exactly 3 minutes, and so. Is the buzzer gonna go off? How's it
The
gonna?
buzzer will go off. So she will start it when you start and the timer will beep, the buzzer will buzz. I don't recall what the.
Is that how I'm supposed to?
Sure,
Is
yes,
that
ma'am.
what I do?
But I will tell you that screen is touch, and so it will. So if you wanna put it on the little thing next to it, you're welcome to. But we can always, it's fine, you're good.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to read really fast so that I get the buzzer. My name is Tammy Tennant. I'm here tonight because I love this district, but I'm also deeply concerned about what's happening to an educator who has dedicated his life to our children. Once upon a time, I was a Bay City ISD teacher, but the truth is I didn't last long because in my opinion at that time, it was a very unhealthy and unsupportive culture. And I say this gently but truthfully, if we were to take a field trip tomorrow to any district within driving distance, we would run into dozens of incredible educators who once served Bay City ISD but left. Not because they lack passion or talent, but because of an unhealthy culture. And if my memory serves me correctly, even our beloved superintendent was once encouraged to leave our district in a way that seemed painful and unfair. So why are we still allowing this to happen? Why are we so quick to terminate, so quick to pressure resignations instead of doing what other great districts do? Train, mentor, support, and grow the best of the best. Research demonstrates that having one trusted coach in a child's corner can reduce their chances of dropping out by 40%. 40%. Not because of a curriculum, not because of a test, but because of one human being who shows up for them. So you tell me, how do you replace that? How do you fire someone over a minor fixable mistake and pretend our kids won't believe in that? I have a background in educational leadership, and here's what I know to be true. The educators who work under our care are human beings. They will not be perfect, they will make mistakes. Every one of us has. And if you have not, please stand up and be the first to throw a stone. Let me share one of my mistakes. Over a decade ago, I was teaching while caring for a 1-year-old, and I was 9 months pregnant with my second. I was completely exhausted. And one morning, I briefly fell asleep under my desk. My principal found me, and I was mortified. I fully expected to be written up. Instead, she brought me water and a cold washcloth. She showed grace, understanding, and support. Because of her grace, I was allowed to continue teaching and changing lives for 12 more years before I retired. And I can't help but wonder how differently that moment would have ended if it had happened here in Bay City ISD. The question isn't whether a mistake happened. The real question is how serious was it, and what does the opportunity for growth look like? On a spectrum from 1 to 10, some mistakes are a 3, like my own moment of exhaustion years ago. And other mistakes are a 10, like using prohibited substances on campus that demand immediate termination. So why in Bay City ISD are minor missteps often treated like a 10? Why is the default response off with their head instead of growth and guidance? Who does that serve? It doesn't serve the districts, and it absolutely does not serve our students. Coach Roberson is the kind of educator you should be fighting to keep. He is coachable, he is hardworking, he builds confidence and purpose in our kids. And I know this to be true because he did it for my son, who used to say, "Mom, astronauts don't play sports." And because of Coach Roberson, my future astrophysicist is also now a 7th grade football player. That happened because of a coach who made him feel capable, seen, and supported. Board members and Superintendent Townsend, I am begging you to cultivate talent, not crush it. Do not terminate Coach Roberson.
Thank you. All right, next up is Marcy Williams. Hello, ma'am, how are you?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Back to our football team, they did great on Saturday. Are you ready? Good evening, my name is Marcy Rice Williams, and I am a proud graduate of Bay City High School. I am also married to another Black cat, Preston, and we have been blessed with 3 Black cats of our own. 2 of my children have had the privilege to be coached by my dear friend, we'll call him Coach. Not only did he and I attend high school together, but we're advocates as well. Over the years, we've shared many of life's milestones, joys and heartaches alike. The loss of his mama, the loss of my daddy, marriages, children, and of course, watching him achieve his dream job, coach. In 2023, I was honored to stand by his side as he was inducted into the Black Cat Hall of Fame. I am and always will be proud of him. When it comes to sports and coaching, he is all in. In my house, we like to call him passionate. If your child scores a touchdown, he celebrates with them. If your child struggles, he is right there to pick them up. I truly believe that God put him here on earth to be a coach. Watching him celebrate our kids' big moments, well, there's nothing quite like it. He always encourages his students to aim higher, push through challenges, and believe in themselves, even when things get tough. As a proud member of the Black Cat family, I am so grateful that we have coaches and teachers like him in our district. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. All right, next up is Mr. Tate-Tin. Hello, sir, how are you? Good.
Good evening. My name is Tate Tennant. I'm a student at Bay City Junior High. And I'm here because Coach is one of the best teachers I've ever had. He treats every student with respect and he makes us feel like we matter. He encourages us, pushes us, and believes in us, even when we don't believe in ourselves. Losing him would hurt our school and hurt the kids who depend on him. I hope you choose to keep I hope you choose to keep a coach who truly makes a difference in our lives. Thank you.
Sir. Okay, up next, Madison Williams.
She says his name.
That's okay.
Okay, I'm just keep this face.
I would like to take a second. It takes a lot of courage to get up in front of this board, on that screen to speak. So both of you students and parents, but students especially, it takes a lot of courage to kind of stand up and talk.
Hello, my name is Madison Williams. I am in the 6th grade and I attend Bay City Junior High. And this is my speech for my favorite coach. John Roberson, also known as Uncle John, was my PE coach from 4th grade through 5th. I would never, and I mean never, want to miss school because I know we would always have an amazing time in PE. I would look forward to going to school just to see my uncle. And I know he impacted other kids' lives because some kids, even though we were in elementary school, their only way to get to college was through sports. Coach would always make sure that we all got to work on our own sports. Like for example, when we would go outside, he would make sure we had all types of sports balls so we could all work on our own sports. I have my favorite Bible verse. It's Philippians 4:13. It states, "I can do anything through Christ who strengthens." I picked this verse because he is a coach and takes pride in helping kids feel their worth. Thank you.
Right, next is Patricia. And so I was like, I saw her somewhere. Where'd she go? Hello, ma'am, how are you? Fine, thank you. Doing well, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Patricia Sawyer. I'm Black and parent of 4 children. One that has gone off to college and who is under coach. I'm here to speak on his behalf for my daughter who did Steve. He had an impact her in her life. In the 3rd grade, and it was a woman coach. Every day she came home, "Oh man, I can't wait till this coach leave, cause I want Coach John to be the head coach. I know he's gonna have us do more, but she's not there. Oh, we're doing sports because we're a big sports fan. Like, we're doing sports, we're doing what we're supposed to do. When she's there, no, it's walk, get on the ball, blah, blah, blah." So finally, coach ended up moving up and became head coach. She loved it. So he had a good impact on her life, plus my 2, well, one that's gone, and the other one was playing football now. So it would be a great honor not to terminate him, because everybody makes mistakes, and give him a second chance.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Kimberly Lewis.
Good evening, everyone. I'm a student as a freedom of passion, optimism, ambition, confidence, leadership, empathy, respect, patience, humor, compassion, and most of all, personal connection. There are so many other ways to describe the type of effective educator that Coach is. And out of all of those characteristics, perfection was not one. As an educator in today's time, you are more than just a teacher or a coach. Most days, we can agree. We are mothers, we are fathers, we are friends, we are nurses, and yes, we are hairstylists. I have done a lot of things like this. But most of all, we are nurturers. We pour into these babies every day. Every day we show up and we pour into the children in our care, even when it feels like you are pouring from an empty cup. I pray that whatever the situation is, that he is approached with the same grace that we would want when the going gets a little tough. As someone who knew and grew up with Coach before becoming co-workers, I can attest that many people couldn't walk 10 steps in his shoes. So he took the cards that life dealt him, and he made a difference in the children that he was able to impact every day. And to me, that speaks more volumes than anything.
Thank you. All right, that is the conclusion of our audience with patrons. Again, thank you, students. It takes a lot of courage to come and speak. So I honor you and I say thank you for having that courage and stepping up. That's a big deal. So, all right, moving on into our reports. The first report on our list is the first reports. First is first.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you this evening?
Doing well. How are you all?
Doing well, thank you.
So, today I'm talking to you about the first report, that's the Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas. This report was just produced, for the 2024-2025 ratings. Those ratings are based on 2023-2024 though. So these are ratings that are 2 years old. You should have a copy of the first report there in your board book. Looking at it, I actually put the one straight from the state in there. Anything that we did not get full points on, I did give you an indication of where those points were or how much it was. So for example, on indicator number 8 was the measure of current assets to current liability ratio for the school district sufficient. So it was 6 out of 10. So you know exactly where we go with those. On number 17, we did fail in sealing for material weakness with the financial audit in 23-24. And that was in regards to accruals, I believe is what that was. So we did score 72, which is still a C rating, which is still passing for us. Looking at, just kind of looking ahead and kind of predicting where we'll be next year, outside we're probably going to be kind of in the same probably situation next year as well. We all know we're all kind of in hard times right now. But then we should start seeing that rating climb in the future. So right now we've got a C rating, next year, say probably about the same, and then from there we'll start seeing that.
I know during the audit 2 years.
2 years ago.
Like 2 years ago,
2 years ago.
that was brought up about the accruals. Is there stock measures been put in place, correct?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes, ma'am. There have been thought measures put in place. We are still finishing up our audit from the 24-25 school year. I tried to affect that as much as possible, but there are some things that I didn't come in time for to change that. So there may potentially be some material weaknesses in there, but we'll get those to you and let you know those.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about this report? All right, moving on, cost savings and revenue generation reports.
So that is me as well. In your board book, Mr. Townsend has asked us to start keeping track of kind of a $2 million goal. In order for us to kind of be in a better place next year, if by some chance some of the financial decisions that we've made don't come to fruition in terms of a better month. what can we do to kind of help us stay solvent? And so he tasked us with finding about $2 million. And so what I will be presenting to you over the course of the year, every month, you'll see this document, and this document right now will be, there will be more added to it as we find more savings. So as you look at the documents, you can see that we found a little over $1 million worth of savings so far. There is a small increase in there because of the raise that you did provide to the police department, so that amount is in there as kind of an offset to that part. As we do find other offsets like that, we'll add those through there, so this is a running kind of cumulative total. It will evolve, as additional entries are identified, but I think we're kind of on to a good start, and we just need to kind of keep talking and rolling. Yes.
So one of the main thing with this is to be able to give you guys an idea of what are we doing in the meantime. And we don't want to wait till the end of the year for us to be looking at ways to save. And the team has done really a tremendous job, almost $1 million in savings already. And it's November. So it's been a huge team effort from everybody, including at the campus level. You can see some of the things where things is, so that affects everybody. Main thing was to find that savings without affecting construction, or people's positions right now. So I'm really proud of the team.
And thank you for this type of thing. I know we've had lots of discussions about budget and kind of casting out and showing us, and not just right at the time, but doing this type of stuff to show us what is happening over time. It's a huge thing for, I know for me, and I know for other board members to be able to see it over time and not just in one.
Absolutely, so like I said, you'll see this every month from here on out, we'll have that discussion, so.
Perfect, thank you so much, I appreciate it. All right, the next report is the BCISD bilingual program report. Good evening, how are you?
Good evening, I'm doing well, thank you. You have the presentation in your packet, so tonight I'm just hitting highlights, and then taking any questions that you might have. This is in regards to our bilingual ESL program and the report on performance last year. And BCISD has about an emergent bilingual population of about 16% of their total enrollment. And you have a description of our program model in your packet that talks about we are an additional early exit program, meaning that we are supporting the acquisition of the English language as well as supporting academics in the language. Our percent of our emergent bilingual student population has decreased here, slightly by about 1%, not a huge difference of what it's been in the past. And our TELPAS results show that our students are making progress. Overall, those results show great growth. We do see a little regression from first to second grade when they're taking TELPAS due to going from a holistic grading over time to a computerized assessment that's a one-shot, sit down, take it, you're done. So we do see a little bit of a decline there in performance, but then it picks right back up. So that's not a huge concern, and that's typical across the state. In grades 3 through 8 on the state assessment, our bilingual students are actually outperforming our other our overall student population and our other areas of students. Especially in math, which is really, really exciting. So that's something that we can be definitely very proud of. Last year and this year, we're continuing to support our emergent bilingual students, their parents, and our ESL teachers through professional development, their involvement in research-based instruction for our second language learners. Any questions?
Any questions in regards to the report?
That decline you was talking about, you said that's a decline for a small area. What would be the result of that? I mean, I'm sorry, what would be the cause of that?
Right, so in kindergarten and first grade, it's what we call a holistic grading. The teacher is looking at the student's performance over time and summarizing that. It's more subjective. And then in second grade, that actually goes to a computerized assessment where the student has to sit for an extended period of time in a block setting and actually answer questions on the computer. They actually have to speak into a microphone to take the test. Speaking in English for our second language learners is scary in the first place, let alone talking to a computer and knowing that it's gonna score you. We do practice with them. We have parent nights where the parents get to see what that computerized assessment is like. So that they're getting some exposure, but it's quite a shift going from that first to second grade.
Nervous reaction.
Well, and they're done too, right? To sit down and take that lengthy test, which I think is around 40 questions, and the listening is difficult. We're listening to a computer talk to us, and if we have to answer questions over it, and then when you think that that student is so young, it's their first time taking an assessment like that, we do see a decline there, but because of the exposure that we're providing, and then also showing parents what that's like, so they can talk to their student about it. You don't.
That they're only exposure to computers at school just for that assessment, or is it something, I mean, because, you know, computers are their toys. So,
Right, there is some exposure to computer, and I would have to lean on our teachers a little bit more on what much exposure at what grade in general.
So all grades have requirements with tech app, and so there's some exposure, but even at the very young, in kindergarten, that tech app isn't necessarily on the computer, right? Because they're not ready for that, in that capacity. So as it goes up a little bit, you'll see more exposure to the computer. And really, third grade is the first time that they have to sit down and take some type of really real assessment that's up at any length on the computer. And so Intellipass kind of hits them a little bit early. But they do have Intellipass academies, evenings, after school tutorials for them to try to get them used to it. And Ms. Boudry, our instructional facilitator, technology instructional facilitator, and Ms. Gomez have worked really hard over the last few years to try to figure out what are some programs that we can use that can emulate that to use with the students throughout the year, so that when they get to it, it's not shell shock. So actually, they are doing much better than they have in the past, so that's good. They're trying to bridge that gap.
Right, and in the last couple of years, since we have had full-time bilingual instructional coach, we've actually seen our students reclassifying out of the bilingual classroom double and triple. So that's actually really, really exciting. She's definitely making a big difference.
it sounds like the work's being done, and just this question.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
The number of virtual bilingual students being reclassified, those numbers, are those like going from like a big letter level to an intermediate level, or is that like graduating out, or is that?
Right, so a couple of things that have to happen with that, they have to pass their state assessments. Which is a few minutes out, and then on top of that, we want to see on the telecast that they're performing in the advanced to advanced evaluation. So it's twofold.
Any other questions? All right, thank you so much. All right, our next report is the Appliance Energy Savings Proposal. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good, how are y'all?
Doing well, thank you.
So since I've been here, it's been a big topic about our energy savings and our energy costs and how we do that. So through district walkthroughs, you know, we're looking for other things, but that's also part of it, is seeing where we can try to cut back. And I've noticed a lot of personal appliances in the classroom and office spaces, and things like that. So that's just kind of informing you of what we're noticing in the district, and then going forward, we some sort of enforcement to either it's a facility guideline, potential policy in the future. Just kind of wanted to brief y'all on that and kind of inform you. That's what we're looking at on the energy side and trying to gain some extra savings on the energy side.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we're gonna collaborate. A lot of districts have, along with their facility standards, that they give to the staff and everything, just some guidelines of what can be brought into the classroom. Refrigerators, things like that, microwaves that really end up when you have a lot of them all over the district. drawing quite a bit of electricity. And in some instances, not necessarily within fire code. So, we're gonna be looking at what some of the other districts do with that. Some of them are pretty, I don't know if I'm comfortable with the way that they do some of it. I mean, they'll charge teachers and do all that. We don't want to go to that extreme, but we do need to figure out a way to cut down, and be reasonable. So we just want to let you know that we're looking at that piece. We're already as efficient as we can be with the lighting and the balancing of the air and all of those things. So this is really the next step.
So say, that is not a new topic. To some of the teachers that's been teaching for years, to bring in their refrigerators and microwave. It's always been an item of discussion, whether you should or should not, and how much of this and, that kind of stuff. So I don't think it would be new, and maybe we have to take, like you said, some guidelines in there. How much in each classroom, for you to bring a refrigerator and a microwave and a toast stand, all of this stuff, how much, how you allow bringing it, move your own walls and everything. But, it's things like that that I think everybody have to look into. But it has been discussed.
One of the things that we want to do is have these conversations during the year now, so that whenever we solidify principles and let the teachers know what that is before we exit for the year, so that when they leave, they know what they need to take home and what to expect when they come back. Wouldn't be a mid-year shift or anything like that. We want to be reasonable with whatever transition to that. So
And just create a standard that
everybody sticks to it and knows.
Alright, any questions? South, next item is the South Gym Planties in the junior high gas. Costs.
So still with the energy topic, with the assessment of energy bills and things like that for the district, it's trying to get a really good grasp of where we're spending our money on the energy side. I've come across a few bills for South Gym being one of them, where we're paying basically a basic fee month to month without using that facility. So we've been paying, I think, $19 for the last 3 years every month, so close to $240 a year. To keep an active meter for a building that's not needed. So just kind of wanted to bring that to y'all's attention. And then have further discussion with Mr. Townsend and possibly bring that back for an item of business to see what direction we want to go. Do we want to stop paying for that? If there's any future plans for that building, do we want to keep it, or potentially have to pay an even higher fee to reactivate an account for a building that may be used in the future or may not?
So the South Gym
Would be the old girls gym next
is
to.
next to the 500 thing with the black hat on the back of it that's at the end of the football field.
Yes.
A couple of years ago, there was discussion of turning that into a
Yes.
boys field house, locker room, weight room, all the things. And it didn't come to fruition, and so the floors in there are buckled. Because of during construction, so there are things with that building, so I think just trying to figure out. What are we doing with that building? What is the intent? Is there something that we can do with that building to make it useful? So I think he's coming up with ideas.
If we ever made a decision to make it useful again, it would take some funds to rehabilitate that building to be useful again.
Correct.
With the four that you mentioned, and then potential air quality issues as well.
Okay. Yeah, so I think just conversations around that of what could be done, if anything, and some ballpark costs. Obviously, it's not gonna happen in a year or 2 years or anything of that nature, but just some long-term planning type. Perfect, thank you. All right, next on that item on the agenda is the library communication to the community. Good evening, sir, how are you? Doing well, thank you.
Part of this year, board, you take a look at library communication, community part Senate Bill 13 is supposed to purchase within 30 days. Maybe has an opportunity to review and discuss it open forum if they so desire. At this time, make that announcement now. It is in the agenda 30 days later, or there's a session for the community can go ahead and purchase. If there is there are processes that will take.
Perfect. Any questions from the board on that? And the lists are in board book for you to look over.
And they are posted on the website as well.
Yes. Perfect, thank you. All right, next item of business is the Matagorda County's youth charity donation.
So, Metro Gordon County Youth Charities, offered like $2,000. And they came by last week and presented that check for us. They do that in several districts throughout the county. But just wanted to, give them a notary and say thank you for that. Make all the board aware that they did donate that, $2,000 to the district. So we thank them very much.
Yes.
Was it bookmarked for anything or was it so glad?
So we can use it to help offset that, or go directly to something that we need to use for them. So. Great.
Thank you.
To check us safely in the business offices.
And we were hoping they give us a big one.
Yeah.
Apparently they photoshopped that in the picture.
They do. Great, thank you for that. Thank you, for Youth Charities for that donation. All right, moving on to items of business. Discuss and consider approval of the high school courses of innovation, sorry. Hello again.
Just ran up there a couple times.
Yes, sir.
So, part of, our curriculum is to institute courses that all of our students. And sometimes we come across courses that don't quite get all of the markers that we need. In our 18 and over program with our special education population, our students had an opportunity to take courses, and you would probably know this is British courses. And these courses were local credit, which means the students would take it and learn some items, so they would not earn actual credit because of the curriculum that tied to TA. Our ask here is that we have courses that can do that that have TA curriculum, small minor adjustments. All we were doing is we're replacing verses 1 through 3 with more courses that are aligned to half a credit, so these students are actually credit or for graduation. We would also employ 2 other classes, one of them employability class, which is the social cues going out to work and actually learning day-to-day operations as far as work is concerned. And the other one is a math course, which also gives our students elected something they haven't had access to for quite some time. There's no cost added to this. Pretty much having a curriculum, it's already approved, just get the lesson.
Right, great. Does anyone have any questions in regards to this?
Within this approval of courses, I know that we have many kids involved in trainings. They have trainings and they have sometimes training from freshman year to senior year. Are those considered that do they get credit or is that something that we can look at? Because I mean, they are dedicated, they are out there, they are in the field, they're in the gym. Is that something that would fall under there?
Are you referring to our students in this program? That's exactly what this is.
That's what you're talking about. Thank you.
All right, any further questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to be made?
Make a motion to approve high school courses of innovation.
All right, there's a motion on the table. Is there a second to the motion?
I second.
All right, we have a first and a second. Any further questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Thank you, sir. All right, item B, discuss and consider approval of Bay City ISD HB2 Educator Certification Plan for TEA application for access to a delay of teacher certification. Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Good evening, I'm well, how are y'all doing?
Doing well, thank you.
I'm gonna pass out a few things.
Perfect.
I'll start with that. So did y'all have a chance to review the plan, no school book?
Yes.
Okay, did y'all have any questions before we get started? Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna jump right in. As y'all know, I love to provide a good sheet for you to be able to kind of follow along. So as I've been as it's mentioned in the plan, the state has passed, and the House bill has passed a certification plan where all staff that are uncertified are supposed to be certified by it's in different phases. The state did go in and pass a new plan where we could potentially apply for a compliance plan in order to phase in those teachers. And so this is what we're presenting today to be able to provide you an opportunity to say, yes, let's create this plan versus coming in and saying, oh, we're gonna have all these teachers certified within 1 year or depending on whenever it's due. So I did provide each of you a spreadsheet in regards to what we're looking at. I know in true fashion, I would like to know, okay, how many uncertified teachers do we have? You're probably sitting on the bigger wondering yourselves. So, based off of that, I wanted to go ahead and start with the first page, which includes how many uncertified teachers are there. So based off of this, graph, you can see, well, I first wanted to start out by saying the foundation course is your that ELAR, your math, science, and social studies. And then we also do have our district of innovation, and we do have our CTE courses. So I went ahead and included that in here because I know it is very important whenever it comes to our DOI and our CTE courses, why we want to keep those employees staffed in those areas. Our CTE are going to be like our welding, construction, nursing, anything that we need in order to continue to have the success of our students. So that was one thing I wanted to include on this spreadsheet here. So on to the next page. This is what we're looking at whenever it comes to the phase-in plan. Did y'all have questions about the phase-in? Do y'all kind of have an idea of what it was, what I was mentioning whenever it came to the plan? Okay, so how this graph is working is, in the 25-26 school year, we're collecting all the data of how many uncertified teachers we have here at the district that are currently sitting in that capacity as before the foundation courses. So right now we have 17 PK through 5 that are uncertified. We have 7, 6 through 8. We have 9, 9 through 12, and we have a total of 84 certified teachers. That brings the total of other certified teachers up to 117 staff members. The total percentage for uncertified is 28%. The total certified is 72%. At the end of the 26-27 school year, what our phase plan is we're looking to have all of our PK through 5 uncertified staff members certified in the ELAR, math, science, and social studies. So you'll see in 26-27, I have a dash there because all of them will be certified. So then we'll still have 6 through 8 that will be uncertified, which is 7. Then you have 9 through 12, which will be 9, which brings our new total of a certified PK through 12 to 101. Again, the total uncertified goes down to 14%, and the certified goes up to 86%. In the 27-28, we'll have PK through 5 certified, 6 through 8 certified, and 9 through 12 will be working to get their certification. That will bring up the certified PK through 12 to 108, which brings our uncertified to 8%, which is continuing to lower, and then the certified goes up to 92. So we're wanting to get it higher. So by the 28-29 school year, at the end of that year, all of our staff members will be certified. So that's why all of those lines are blank, which brings it up to a total of 117. So our goal is to have by the end of the 28-29 going into the 29-30 school year to have all employees that are currently uncertified and those foundation courses certified. The plan states that it gives us an opportunity to have kind of a little bit more leeway to get those certifications. Mr. Chris and I, and Mr. Halley, whenever we sat down and started going over everything, we wanted to make sure that we still kept the district accountable and still kept our teachers accountable, our principals accountable for meeting those goals and expectations. Because it's not a district preference. We're not trying to, hey, we want to have these people certified. This is the new state law. We have to get them certified. But instead of approaching it, hey, 25-26 school year, 26-27 school year, you need to be certified. We're wanting to approach it in a way where we can continue to track them with a tracker, make sure that our meeting with them monthly, quarterly. We've talked about possibly funding somebody through federal funds, trying to make it a way where we can support those teachers, support the principals to get those teachers certified and make them easier and smoother process rather than just turning around and telling our uncertified teachers, hey, you're going to get certified this year. So that's the approach that we're looking at. I don't know if Mr. Chris or Mr. Richard have any additional comments, concerns that we may want to add, but this is our plan. If the board does approve it tonight, it will be posted on our website. The district will apply for the approval. It has to go through TEA to get their approval for us to have this plan in place. If we do not get the acceptance of the plan, then we will have to follow the mandated requirements on what that looks like for getting our teachers that are currently uncertified in those 4 classes or 4 subjects certified within the next couple of years.
So, just overall, we knew that when they passed this law, that the commissioner said that there'd be some type of waiver. But it wasn't until probably 3 weeks ago that they came out on what that waiver was going to look like, and this is what it is. And it's not gonna be like a lot of waivers, so obviously you see there's gotta be a plan in place. So instead of just saying, we want a waiver so that we don't have to worry about this until 29/30, they want you to have a plan in place for how you're gonna accomplish that and goals and process. And so that's what's reflected with this plan that was cross is giving you. What's good about this plan is that we are following, even though we are taking it to, to 29/30, we're following all what the state said. At the end of this year, everybody's gonna be certified PK through 5 this year. But we're taking it and allowing them an opportunity to meet with all the staff, let them know when their expectation is to have that completed. We're gonna have as many supports in place as possible to help them and monitor and encourage them to get there. What is good about it also is that at the end of next year, let's say that there is a teacher who's amazing and she has not been, or he has not been able to attain that certification. If it's in the best interest of the district, then we create a hardship. We still have time to work with them and not create a classroom where there is nobody, but they have to work for it, right? That's why we were tracking the support, but there has to be progress, there has to be. So it's a really good plan that allows us flexibility as we go along, to be extremely transparent, follow what the state has already put in place, and then attain our goal by the time we get to that goal.
Are there any questions about this particular presentation and what the verbiage is?
So are we saying that over the next 2 to 3 years, we will not be hiring any uncertified teachers?
That's the goal, but not to bring any uncertified on. Yeah.
And that's a great question, because that was also part of, it's a recruitment process. What is our recruitment plan going to be like? And
Yeah.
unfortunately,
For areas.
because of the 4 areas, it would, we have spoken about that. Would it be in the best interest to bring an uncertified teacher into that spot? Well, I mean, depending on where they're at, if they're part of an EPP program, that may be a different conversation, because we are looking to continue our partnership with, it's now staying in University Victoria, also known as UHB. That is who we're looking to have our EPPs plan. I do have a call with them this week to start discussing that. We do have to have a secured EPP program, but since we already have a residency program with them, I'm hoping that they would be interested in continuing that partnership with us.
The good thing is that it's statewide, right? So, I mean, it's not like we're the only district that's gonna be looking for certified teachers. So teachers are, if you're coming out, you're gonna want to be certified. I don't think it will be, I think the expectation will not be a shock to those who are applying.
Well, with that being said, that, districts all around the state will be, looking for certificates. What's our attraction? What's gonna make them? How are we gonna attract?
Well, that's a recruitment piece versus, certification, because, and a step in that direction was, the raise that the state gave, and also when we had those stipends for those very singular positions that we talked about last, we've already replaced two positions that we were paying well over $100,000 for contracted services. So we're going in that direction. Number one is getting fiscally sound, and number two is having the supports in place to help them get certified and see that one. And so there's a lot of avenues that we've done about that attraction. One is that resident teacher partnership that we have with not UHB, but take say Victoria now, where used to they would they'd spend 6 months student teaching in the classroom, then that was it. Now it's a year-long residency that they are in the classroom with one of our teachers who serves as a mentor, and that is closely monitored by not only the university, but by us. So that by the time they're done, they've got a whole year under their belt in the classroom, and that's the kind of support that is going to, and it's a paid residency. It's paid through federal funds right now, but it's going to be funded by the state because they made that part of some of those allotments as well. So that piece statewide, and for us too, is going to be that support system that we need to have in place, and that the state is going to help fund.
And to kind of piggyback off of that as well as it can also possibly have an opportunity for our program to come back. I know that was a big piece that really has hurt us in the recruitment piece. We got the residency program, which has been a valuable asset to the district, and we are the only district in the surrounding area that is paying that teacher to be here, so that's a huge plus for our district. But having to grow our own, bringing that back with lasso funds,
That's right.
right? That we should be able to kind of bring that back in to kind of help on the recruitment piece as well.
And you may not know, but how are we compared to, as far as percentages go, to other districts in the state, as far as having, what is it, 28% uncertified teachers? I mean, is this gonna be a bigger challenge for us versus other districts as far as getting everybody certified?
I felt after I looked at the numbers, I was very impressed. I do feel that, especially since we're targeting core subjects right now, and not all of our numbers, because we have such a unique approach with a lot of our CTE GOI. It is a great question. It was something that I had, as they're continuing to push out stuff to the state. I've found a few different trackers that where districts can go in and add their information. So I'm hoping that over the next couple of months, maybe the next quarter or 2 quarters, that can be data that we can provide y'all to say, okay, this is where Bay City sits. This is how we're progressing through our plan. This is what we look at whenever you're looking at another district, vice versa.
Excuse me, any other questions?
So are we saying that the uncertified teachers in non-K-12, they can't get their certification until?
No, so we're going to meet with all teachers now on Christmas break that are uncertified. We're gonna let them know when they are expected, their group is expected to have their certification time. Now, obviously, we want them to start working on it right now, right? That's the drop dead. That date that we give them. So when you look at 9 through 12, by the end of 28, 29, they've got to be certified. Yeah. But everybody's gonna be
based off of what the state said.
right. If we weren't doing this plan right now, at the end of this year, all pre-K through 5 would have to be certified. But because we're pushing it out here, and we're even, step by step on how we're gonna do it, really affording them an opportunity to give them notice. And, because really it's unrealistic right now, if they're gonna be certified by the time contracts about March. You know what I mean? So that's why everybody will be informed at the same time. They'll know that their cohort is expected to be certified by, and they'll know what's being placed with that.
I think one of the things that this was pushed, and we've had conversations about for years, dating back to when we had employees that were here that are now gone working on it, is our recruitment piece. I think it is going to be key that we are on top of it and we are a step ahead in that recruitment piece, because every district across the state is gonna be in the same position. And if we unfortunately have one person or 2 people that aren't able to get certified, we can go in for the exception, but if the drop dead date, it's drop dead. And we have to have our recruitment plan absolutely solid, advertising, the TIA advertising, all of those things that make Bay City what it is, or what our graduation, all of the things that people look at and they're like, wow, people from Region 3 that come in, I think that is, we have to ensure with that next step, and that we are a step or 2 ahead of the process in that specific piece. Moving forward, I think starting this year, I know y'all have done some recruitment already this year, gone to some colleges up to this point, but I think that's gonna be a key factor in ensuring that we're able to meet this deadline of 20 to 30.
It is a great one. Yes, sir.
Will that be failed attempts to get the certification? What happens then? Or someone?
I was waiting for one of you to ask me that. No, that is something that we as a team have discussed is what are we going to do? I mean, you think about it, and the state gives them only a certain amount of tests that they have to take or attempts to take. Mr. Chris did mention it a second ago that once we do get to that point, there are some additional approaches that we could possibly take as a district. It's going to be performance, what state is the district in, all those things that make that determination on what will we do with that. And so that will hopefully not happen. We're hoping with the approach that we have and the additional funds that we have through federal product funds, LASSO, all the things that are being provided to us to continue with this plan to kind of help navigate additional coursework that these employees can use to get that certification. But it is my concern as well, is what are we going to do when something like that does happen, if some stuff does happen?
Well, like I thought of just having, I don't think we've had a plan, but it's been put out like this so that you can see and track as we go. So I like the plan, I like the way that you're thinking, you got working together and coming up with things. And like you say, you just have to stay on top of all of the other, especially the recruitment and all of that stuff. We have to be, because everybody's gonna be looking for the best. And we want the best.
Well, I appreciate y'all approving everything that y'all did at the last board meeting with Mr. Howard's approach, because like Mr. Chris mentioned earlier, it has been, I feel a game changer when I've had conversations with staff members. A lady actually accepted today, be approved tonight, but one of her biggest response was, I want to be here at Bay City. I love this place. It's my home. And with additional TRA allotment plus the stipends for some of those special programs, it has really made a difference in our recruiting efforts. So I'm looking at it.
It's been something good, and I probably should mention this for the good news. I like the thought that we are bringing back our students. I see that we have one of those little Epicors back. I mean, to me, that's the goal. I mean, we want as many of our own kids coming back to us than outside. I know them, I know what they are, I've seen them grow, I've been there. Those are the kind of things that I like to see and I like to see that we continue to have. And we are thinking about recruitment or whatever, bring back those abilities. We taught them, we sent them on that way, now we're going back.
All right, are there any other questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to be made?
That has been presented to us tonight.
Right, there's a motion on the table. Is there a second to the motion? All right, we have a first and a second. Any further questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion passes 6-0. All right, moving on. Discuss and consider renewal / update of the Palacios MOU with Bay City ISD 18+ program. Good evening again.
So as you know, we share with one of our neighboring districts, a joint ventureship, an interlocal agreement, which is our deal of understanding for them. And what we provide is services for students that live within that area, for those who still need further support that we provide in our here as well, in order to make sure that it's equitable and serves students appropriately. We signed the interlocal agreement. We're reviewing that it's a little inequitable on the cost side for us, so now it's and there are some things in there that you need to get there, which we redacted and took out, but there are special programs, of course, in conversation with class, they felt the same. And so tidied it up and I have it.
Great, are there any questions about the MOU presented at board? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to be made? All right, there's a motion on the table. Is there a second to the motion? All right, we have a first and a second. Any further conversation, questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion passes 6-0. All right, item D, discuss and consider casting votes for members of the Matagorda County Central Appraisal District Board of Directors for the 26-27 terms of office, beginning January 1st, 2026, and ending December 31st, 2027.
This is a continuation of the ballots, or the nominations that you did back in September. So if you remember at that time, you nominated Frank Purdy, for that position. You have a number of candidates, however, that you can go ahead and you can vote for. You have 928 votes. So today, your task is to place those votes, to a candidate, or one of those votes to a candidate.
All right, is there a motion to be made? Are there questions? Sorry.
Yeah.
Are there any questions? Getting out of myself. Any questions, comments?
With split things or, oh, I've never done this before.
We just every 2 years is what you do.
Well, last time they suggested somebody,
Yeah, so now we just need to cast the votes for that person.
So you suggested Frank Furley be third, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I said, I remember seeing a list of candidates and stuff.
Yeah.
So you consider it right. You split those and are we supposed to just do all of them towards the person that we were?
You
that we-
technically can't split those, however, I mean, it's normal, what I've seen with districts is to go ahead and split all the votes to the one candidate that you voted for. But it is your choice, it is your votes, and it's all of those that you can place to wherever you want.
And all these people going after the same position, or is it like the top 3 or?
You know, that's a great question that I actually don't have answers to. I never really looked into how many of these people are on the ballot, or on the board, but this is for the board of directors for that, so I've not ever county the first district. And, I will find that out for you though, and get you an email and have questions. I don't know if I have essentially the board.
All right, any other questions? Is there a motion to be made? I make a motion to cast 928 votes to Frank Furley one third. But is there a second to the motion? Second. All right, there's a first and a second. Any further comments, questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. All right. Item E, discuss and consider take possible action on proposed amendment number 3 on the application and agreement for proposed tax limitation on the qualified property Rome America application number 1483.
And at this time, I suggest you table it until after executive session.
Perfect. We will table this and come back out when we come back into open session. All right, item F, discuss and consider approval for purchase orders over $50,000. The first one is Imagine Learning LLC for Edgenuity software program in the amount of $58,100. Sorry.
This purchase order has actually already made it through the system. In review of some of the items that the auditors could potentially catch us for the following year, anything over $50,000 should bounce the board for approval. So I did kind of a quick audit through the items. This one came through, I believe back in at the beginning of August, and this was actually pushed through, but it came back through my desk at the beginning of October. It has been purchased already, so this is kind of a posthumous approval, like, yes, it's okay for us to do this, and this is just to help us with the audit.
What measures have been into place to make sure this doesn't?
I am watching the votes. I can tell you that there is, potentially a job order contract I'll probably need to bring to you for some of the services that I found are going to be approaching $1,000, if not a little bit over $50,000, but we'll look at those in January. So right now it's just a matter of, you need to keep your eyes on all of those orders. So this is just something that I noticed as so we kind of onboarded and need to kind of follow through with these from here on out.
Any other questions? Is there a motion to be made? The motion would be that we, that we accept the. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So that's why I asked, is there a stop measure put in place for this does not happen again? But yes, the purchase has already been made, but we need to go back and approve the purchase since it is over that $50,000 mark. Which is where the issuance for the auditor, when the auditor comes back.
And like I said, that purchase was made at the very beginning of August before I even got here, so this is why we're watching it earlier.
So I make a motion to approve the purchase order for Imagine Learning LLC for Edgenuity software program in the amount of $58,107. Is there a second to the motion? All right. Any further questions, comments? All right, hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. All right, item G, discuss and consider approval to call for an RFP for property insurance.
So there is no amendments or any documents in the board book. All I'm just asking is for you to allow us to go ahead and go out for use for our insurance. In the documentation that I provided to you earlier, This is our highest line item in our, it's a little over $2 million, so I would like for us to go ahead and see if there's any potential out there for savings on this particular piece. McGrath is our current insurance broker, we'll ask them to submit a bid, we'll ask TASB to submit a bid and see if there's anybody else out there, let's see if we can save some money.
Great, thank you for being proactive and trying to save us some money in that arena. Are there any questions, comments? Is there a motion to be made?
Motion be approved to go out for RFP for property insurance.
All right, there's a motion on the table. Is there a second to the motion? All right, there's a first and a second. Any further conversation, questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Item H, discuss and consider approval of resolution authorizing the issuance of a credit card account with Prosperity Bank.
So I am asking the board to approve a credit card account for Prosperity Bank. A lot of items that we are purchasing now, a lot of times we do those through purchase orders or we do those through checks. And there are a lot of businesses that are no longer accepting purchase orders or checks, for example, hotels, especially if our children are traveling for sporting engagements or anything like that. We're finding fewer and fewer hotels are actually taking checks from school districts where that would have been not a thing we would have thought to make a challenge in the past. It is becoming a challenge now. So what this will do, this will authorize the administrative staff credit card amount of $10,000. They will still have to follow all purchasing orders. This just gives us another avenue for that purchase.
Are there any questions, comments? Is there a motion to be made?
Today,
Sorry.
it is before today.
No, it should go through the PO process and then they go ahead and use that, unless it's an emergency situation. Where we discussed, for example, if there was something where, we use the example where if there's a hurricane or something, Mr. Townsend needs to get water or something, then he could go ahead. Or something for water. Emergency purchases would have to go through our business office for approval, give us a quick phone call, and then we'll verbally approve it.
Any further questions? Sorry. All right, is there a motion to be made?
Make the motion we approve the authorization to issue a credit card account with Prosperity Bank.
All right, there's a motion on the table. Is there a second to the motion? All right, we have a second. Any further comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye, opposed? Motion passes 6-0. All right, moving into the consent agenda. Are there any items in the consent agenda that anyone would like to have removed? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to be made?
Make a motion that the consent agenda is
All right, there's a motion on the table. Is there a second to the motion? All right, we have a first and a second. Any further comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. All right, it is 7:07 and we will convene in the closed session under multiple items. One, personnel matters if necessary may be taken into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074 to deliberate the employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, resignation, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, including contract recommendations for campus and district level administrators and teachers. 2, discussion and potential action on the superintendent goals and evaluation instrument under Texas Government Code 551.074. 3, pursuant to 551.071, 551.129, consultation with district legal counsel regarding proposed amendment number 3 on the application agreement for proposed tax limitation on qualified property, Rome America application 1483. Number 4, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, consultation with its legal counsel receipt regarding the procedures to be followed regarding employee mid-contract termination proceedings and related matters. Number 5, pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074 and 551.0821, consideration of recommendation and possible hearing for a mid-term contract termination of non-certified contract employee John Roberson and related matters. Item number 6, pursuant of Texas Government Code 551.074 and 551.0821. Conduct possible hearing and deliberation regarding mid-contract termination of non-certified contract employee John Roberson and related matters. Item number 7, pursuant of Texas Government Code 551.071, consultation with its legal counsel regarding issues raised during the mid-con contract termination proceeding and related matters. We will move it into closed session at 7:09 PM. This evening. Right, we will move back into open session at 9:04. We're gonna take things a little out of order. We're gonna take item 3 first, which is discuss and consider approval of proposed amendment number 3 on the application and agreement for proposed tax limitation on qualified property, Rome America application number 1483. Is there a motion to be made?
I move to approve the application agreement amendment number 3 on the application for proposed tax limitation on qualified property, Rome America application number 1483. And delegate authority to sign same to the board president and board secretary.
All right, there's a motion on the table. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
All right, we have a first and a second. Any further questions?
Is it okay for me to propose it since I'm one of the 2 people opposing the 2? It's fine.
Yes.
Yes, because the board voting as a whole.
Oh, fine. I was mentioning.
William, you are reporting, right?
That stream's going.
Okay, hearing no further questions, all in favor? Aye, opposed, motion passes 6-0. All right, going back to item number 1, discuss and consider approval of hiring contractual personnel. Is there a motion to be made?
Make a motion to hire the Islamic personnel on board foot.
All right, there is a motion on the table. Is there a second to the motion? All right, are there any further questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Item number 2 on the list, discuss and consider approval of the superintendent's goals and evaluation instrument. Is there a motion to be made?
A motion that we approve the new and updated version of the evaluation.
There is a motion on the table to update the superintendent goals and evaluation instrument. Is there a second to the motion? All right, there's a second to the motion. Is there any further comments, questions? All in favor? Aye, opposed? Motion passes 6-0. All right, the last item on our agenda is adjournment. Is there a motion to be made?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, there's a motion on the table.
Or call.
Did we?
Did you call for a motion on the previous?
Oh, no, thank you. We're gonna reverse that real quick. There is no motion been fully made for the adjournment. We're going to, the item number 4. Deliberate and take possible action regarding.
It's a related matter.
So we
So
don't think.
So you're gonna do the whole thing, you can say, if the related matter should clarify the phrase the level 3.
Okay. So deliberate and take possible action regarding the proposed midterm contract termination of a non-certified employee, John Roberson, and related matters. Regarding the level 3 agreements. Is there a motion to be made? All right, hearing none, item dies for a lack of motion. All right, next item on the agenda is adjournment. Is there a motion to be made? All right, is there a second to the motion?
Second.
All right, before we adjourn, I have a couple things. The annual NCEDC meeting, everybody got that at their seat this evening. If you would like to attend that on December 17th, please RSVP for yourself. If our January meeting lands on MLK Day, so we need to. Nope, you're fine. We need to make a decision on moving the meeting, our January meeting, to either Tuesday of that week or pushing it to the following Monday. So that will be coming through email. And then we need to determine a date for the special meeting in December. And that will also be coming very shortly, unless you have a proposal. We did talk about it a little bit, and the conversation landed around 8th of December, because we are about to be out for Thanksgiving to give people adequate time to view what they need to view.
Does that give enough time for notice?
We did. So the next question would be at 5 o'clock or at 6 o'clock.
I'm pretty sure it used to be 6 outside of normal hours.
Oh, or 5, yeah, okay.
6:30, 5:30.
Okay, we'll do 5:30 on December 8th for the special call meeting. And then, Ms. Mizzou, will you please ensure that that gets onto a calendar invite gets to, and then we'll do the notices that need to happen. Thank you so much.
Will that also be our Monday meeting?
That will not be the same meeting. December, we do not typically meet for regular board meetings, so our next regular scheduled board meeting will be January, but that falls on MLK, so it will either be, it'll either be on the 20th or on the 26th. Does anyone have any strong feelings on moving it to a Tuesday that week or to a Monday the following, the last Monday of January?
26.
And y'all can look and just let me know. I'll send a text out tomorrow or an email and y'all can respond to it. Anything else before we close out the meeting? All right. Thank you all for everything. Is there, we already made a motion. What's anything else? All right. Is there, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. The meeting is adjourned at 9:10. Yes, it is right here. Thank you, appreciate it.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.